What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to have you here. Welcome if you have never been over to my channel before. My name is Caitlin, and Happy New Year, guys. It is so crazy that it is already 2020, and this past year was one to definitely reflect on and see the different ways that I can set goals to improve. I think that the Lord is wanting to do a lot of amazing things, no matter what the year looks like, despite challenges that may come. No matter what, God can use all things for good and for His glory. So, with that being said, I decided to create a vision board for 2020, some things that I want to kind of set my focus on, specific things that are measurable, some kind of more broad and general things that I just want to write down to have something to remind myself of the things that I am wanting to work on and get better at. Also, side note, I still have my Christmas decorations up, so let me know if you're one of those people who like to keep the Christmas decorations up through January, or if you like take them down once it's New Year's, because I want to keep them up for a little while longer. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get into showing you my vision board that I decided to create and just kind of share with you the steps that I took. I wrote everything down first in a journal, as you can see here, and I think I took maybe a clip of it up close, and I just established the kind of titles and the headers of the things that I want to work on, and then below that kind of created some bullet points of more specifically what it is that I am wanting to do in that area. For the titles, I decided to create those on Canva, and I just picked out some colors that I liked, picked out a font that I liked, and basically just copied and pasted that onto a Google Doc. Along with that, I went onto Pinterest and found some quotes that related to my goals as well and attached those to the document, and then I just printed all of that out. You can make it as pretty or not pretty as you want. You can write on it. If you have great handwriting, that's awesome. That makes it look more pretty, but I don't have that pretty of handwriting. So I just kind of used what I had, and I wanted to write things as well because I've heard multiple people say that there's something that happens with your brain when you write something down, that there's some type of a connection that occurs that I think it motivates you to actually want to do it more. So I decided to write mine down on my board. I'll go ahead and insert some clips now so you can see how I organized it and put it together. Okay, so I thought that I would go ahead and just talk through some of the goals that I have set for this year. I was listening to a podcast yesterday on January 1st by Jenny Allen, and I think that her guest on the show was Kara something. I'm so bad at remembering names sometimes, but I'll just go ahead and put a link to that podcast down below if you want to listen to it, because it's about 2020 and setting goals and how to dream bigger, which I felt very inspired by. But some of the things that I took away from listening to that podcast were, let me find my notes. I listened to a podcast yesterday by Jenny Allen, and she had a guest on her show, and they talked about 2020 and dreaming big, and I want to go ahead and put a link to that in the description below because I felt very inspired by that, and I asked myself some more specific questions related to goals so that I was setting things that were biblical, so that I was setting goals that also were realistic for my life and what it looks like. And so I just would recommend that you go and listen to that because I felt very inspired by it. And with that being said, I thought I would go ahead and share with you some of the goals that I set So the titles that I have are Jesus First, Pray, Manage Money, Plan for Productivity, Set Priorities, and then, setting priorities was, I decided to have that part of planning for productivity, and then taking care of me, or what I ended up putting was steward your body. And that means your physical body, that means mind, and also spirit as well. Jesus First, that honestly is just focusing on reading my Bible in the morning. I'm definitely wanting to make that a priority, and that's also something that can be measurable. And then praying, I want to focus more on praying. I want to focus more on interceding for my friends, for my family, for people that I know are struggling with things, and then as well as praying for my future family, husband, if that is part of God's plan, and just what the Lord wants me to do, what the next steps are in my life, and what He's calling me to be. Managing money, I had a lot of things written underneath this one. I realized that I wrote something under managing money that I wrote down actually under Jesus First, which I think that it belongs more under Jesus First than it does with money, but it can also be with both, and that is tithing. Tithing always, because when we give our first 10% or whatever that amount is for you, if you give more than that, giving that first amount of money that we receive through working and having a job, it just establishes that that is first and foremost God's. It is a gift. It is a blessing that we've received. And so giving that first part back to Him, it just adds additional blessing to our life. And it also can contribute to building a church. It can contribute to missions. It can contribute to many ways of spreading the word of God and building His kingdom. And so the money that is placed in my hands is a gift from the Lord. And so I want to learn to steward it well. And then identifying needs/wants. I didn't write that on the board, but it's basically just what I wrote in knowing what my priorities are and making, setting my priorities straight and then sticking to what those are through building a schedule, which leads into the next one, which is planning for productivity. And I just want to use a planner every single week, and I got this awesome one from Target. I hope that this video is somewhat encouraging or inspiring, because I feel like it's just kind of going through a list and it might get boring, but I hope at the same time that it is also encouraging and inspiring as well. The reason why I really like this, it's organized hourly, so you can write down literally hour by hour what you have planned and what you are doing, and I want to get better at that and actually sticking to it. So when I have something written down that I need to do, not just going and doing something else random, even like with friends or whatever, but just sticking to my schedule and doing what needs to be done. I want to set timers for social media so that I'm not spending as much time on the screen, and that helps with focusing more on work or school, whatever that needs to be. And then the last thing is taking care of my body. That is the physical body, and it is also mind and spirit. So exercising is great. I didn't write it on the board, but that really helps me for de-stressing, and that's not something that is a huge change. I've been working out somewhat consistently the past year because I do notice a huge difference when I do it, so I didn't feel like it was something that I needed to write down, but I did need to write down to eat more raw foods versus processed, because I still feel like I eat processed foods often, like pretty often. I hit up Chick-fil-A, you know what I'm saying? Just working on eating less processed foods so that it'll fuel my body and make it feel good, and more water, less coffee, and also, oh, that was something under managing money as well, is just not going to coffee shops as much, not going to Starbucks as much, just to save that money, because it should be viewed more as a treat than something that I should be getting every single day. That was kind of all over the place, but those are a lot of the things that I'm wanting to work on for 2020. Also, just want to say, this is obviously not a list that I'm going to be doing every single day. It is just more of a general thing of what I want to improve on and what I want to work on, except for like spending time with Jesus every single morning. That is something that I do want to establish every single day, and yeah, that's that. That is things that I want to work on for 2020. I hope that you enjoyed this video and didn't find it too boring. But I love you guys. I would love to hear what some of your goals are. If you have any, have a blessed day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.